Hello, and happy Blood and Popcorn Day. Welcome to the night.
Subscription.
Oh boy, look at those little popcorn kernels, the bloody popcorn kernels. Grrr, love it. Thank you ever so kindly for that subscription, Mr. Momo Cat. How are you? It's Blood and Popcorn Night, and we are discussing a very interesting movie. Glenn's pick this week was a 1980 classic by Lucio Fulci, City of the Living Dead.
Oh boy.
My goodness. And welcome to my co-hosts, Glenn Akers and TJ Rotell. I'm Denise Pantoja, in case you didn't know.
Yo, what up? What up, everybody? Coming to you live from my little brother's former childhood bedroom in northeastern Pennsylvania. What up?
Boom, boom.
Uh,
I love the purple, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, looks
It's
great. Yeah.
good to be back. I'm back in my normal home, so this is great. It's good
And
to be
Denise
back.
is at the helm tonight.
That's right.
Denise is in the chair.
I'm at TJ's desk right now, so I am in charge.
You're the director. You're the boss.
And then when I switched, it always does that. The microphone, you click it, but it won't unclick, and then you have to do it again. And you talk, and nobody hears you.
Just
You're
don't
right.
just don't mute yourself.
Well,
On Zoom.
I was trying to oh my god, am I muted on Zoom? Okay, no, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about OBS. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. We are here to discuss some horror, some amazingly Italian horror.
The best kind of horror.
Why, Mr. Akers, did you choose City of the Living Dead?
I love Italian horror. I love, and technically this is 1980, but 70s horror in general.
I mean, close enough.
I mean, they made it in the 70s, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Or maybe they didn't. I don't know. They might have shot this in like 4 days. That's not
Possible.
true.
It feels
That's
like
not true.
it.
It's
Wait,
possible.
what?
They might have wrote it in 4 days. If you want to call it written. I picked it because, like I said, I love Italian horror and older Italian horror. So I wanted to dip my toe into it as a pick and not go with like my absolute favorites yet, but to give a taste of what kind of gore and nonsensical shit they come up with. And like just all of them have some sort of like weird dream logic, for lack of a better term, that just makes
Yeah.
no sense. And you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, that happened. And I think this is a good precursor because it's pretty damn gory, and most of the effects hold up pretty damn well, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm really curious to what you think. There are two scenes in particular that like basically made me want to pick this one, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Yeah. And I think I know which ones you're talking about. So Glenn, tell us about your film studies. Did you specifically study, because I know you're a huge fan of 70s Italian horror. Did you study that as well in college, or is that just one of the ones that you gravitated towards, or one of these styles and types?
No, I did not study it in college. They didn't have any courses about it.
Bummer. They really should.
I agree. Well, my college shouldn't have any courses on
Well,
it.
but it's like a cornerstone, right?
It
Like,
should
would
be.
we all agree?
I would agree. I mean,
Italian horror.
Glenn, I think I know the answer to this, but I want to get your take on this. Who are who is the holy trinity of Italian horror
Wait,
directors?
wait. Before you answer,
Oh, okay.
carry on.
Was that you?
I just
Yeah, that was the what's the word? Commiserary? Fish? Commensurary?
go. No, there. You're somewhere in there. You're close.
Yeah, there's close. Someone in chat, knows the word I'm talking about. Like the
know-
first, the inaugural, I guess, would also work.
Yeah, but there is a word that's very close to what you're discussing there.
Yeah, that C word. Just tell us what.
Listen, I got to be real honest. I'm gonna go get my sunglasses. I just drove, and I'm on like a broken TV. and I don't want to look at the world right now.
Are
I'm
you
gonna go
gonna-
get my sunglasses.
Oh my
I'll be right
gosh.
back.
You know what I'm really sad about? I didn't pick up any White Claw this evening.
That's what I thought you were opening, really.
Mm-mm.
Also, when is Dr. Pepper going to get into the hard seltzer game?
I don't know. When is Dr. Pepper going to get into the sponsorship game?
That's true. We're looking at you, Doctor.
Come on, Doc. I'm your nurse. Okay. Yeah, Stony and
Maybe
brought
it
to
is
you by
commiseration.
Okay, that's better. That's
commiseration.
now I feel like a fucking human being again.
Yeah, buddy, you got it. These are your
Jesus, I
your
tell ya.
superpower, right? You're like Cyclops here.
Yeah, this is it. You know, like I gotta say, like
I mean,
real
those weren't
talk,
his superpower, but you know what I mean.
real talk. I wear these all the time on the channel. There's a set coming, a green set's coming soon, and I'm gonna have like 5 pair.
Is
You
there
know
a
what? I'm
purple
gonna
set?
post it. Oh yeah, there's purple sets. There's
need
absolutely
a
purple
purple
sets. I'll get you a purple set when I get the green set.
Okay.
But yeah, these sunglasses have just become like I never thought I'd have like a gimmick
You didn't know you'd have a thing.
as an on-camera personality, but I do, and it's sunglasses. And I love it because I get to look at you, but you don't know what's going on behind here.
We
Which
never
is
really
like,
do, though, do we?
Yeah, glasses are not. It's mostly dead.
No,
So-
that's not what I meant. Anyway,
This
we
is
digress.
this is what 15 years in the film industry looks like. Everybody,
Oh,
go ahead and get your film degrees and go out and make movies. And this is what you have to look forward to when you're creeping on 40. Buy some sunglasses now. Invest early.
Okay. We digress, as we often do. Top 3 for you, Mr. Akers, Italian horror film directors.
Yeah, who's the Trinity? I feel like I have mine, but I don't know who yours are. But I bet they're the same.
Probably.
It's a good man.
Dario Argento,
Yeah.
like, without a doubt. Fulci here
Yeah.
is number 2, and Bava.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we had the same
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder, because that's it, right? Like that's like I'm sure there's more, but like when you talk
Is
about
that it?
Italian horror, it's usually one of those 3 guys you're talking about.
There are. There's Martino. Oh man, now I hope that is actually his name.
I mean, it sounds
Glenn,
Italian.
you have the internet at your
From
fingertips.
one Italian to another,
It sounds
it sounds
Italian.
Italian.
I should look that up. Man.
Martino and Rossi, right?
Yeah, Martino Rossiasti and Gubbio
Pellegrino.
Pellegrino. Yeah, these are all Italian names. I have my uncle Pellegrino and my
Okay,
auntie.
I'm not crazy. Like a fourth would be Martino, Sergio Martino.
So
Mainly,
the D'Artagnan of Italian horror, if you will.
right.
The fourth
Yeah.
sometimes forgotten.
Yeah.
He is kind of forgotten. He shouldn't be, because Torso is great. I might pick that later.
I thought you meant D'Artagnan. I'm sorry. I was like, what?
Well,
No.
D'Artagnan's great too. I'll
Yes,
speak
but
to
I
that.
thought it was like torso.
The movie Torso. It's great. Anyways,
amazing.
that's we're not talking about that one on here
Okay.
right now.
We have your top 3.
Yes.
Can you tell us some of the, since you're such a big fan, can you tell us some of the hallmarks of Italian horror? I think we've got a couple behind us, right?
We do. Ridiculous, very colorful, not technically primary because purple isn't primary. Intense, like lavish colors,
Mm-hmm.
like lighting colors. This one, City of the Living Dead does it some, but not to the extent of like Suspiria,
Right.
which is probably I wouldn't say it's the most obtuse with it, but
It's up there.
It's up there. Like,
Suspiria is a colorful movie.
it is. It assaults you with color and sound in
Yeah.
the best way possible.
Yeah.
That's usually what people think of first. It also is a lot of like creative kills.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why it is actually kind of important to horror, because slashers came from well, I mean, there's debate about this, but slashers.
And we're going to get into it tonight, folks.
Right.
The debate
Right.
begins tonight.
To the death. I don't know why I looked at my microphone like I was looking at the camera. I was like, yeah.
See, if this was an Italian horror movie, a knife would come out of it and you'd get stabbed in the face, which is
true.
Another thing, like a
really
creative
slow
kill like that.
too. Like it would go really slow in the face.
Incredibly
Right.
phallic.
Yes, that's probably a hallmark that I don't.
I meant that kill, not Italian horror necessarily.
What have you done?
Right.
I made Glenn blush.
And he did.
I didn't think it was possible, but here we are.
That's true. One of the most common types of Italian horror movies is giallo or gialli, which comes from in Italy. They used to sell pulp books, usually like mysteries or crime thrillers, and they always had like a yellow cover to them, so you like knew that they were just like trashy, violent novels, basically, in an airport. And I could be wrong because I don't speak Italian, but I've read that gialli is Italian for yellow. So a lot of these movies were based off of books like
pulp
that.
Stories.
Yeah, pulp, violent, crime-ish stories.
Cool.
And like the hallmarks of giallo movies are garish lighting, usually, almost always a black gloved killer, where you like don't see their face until the end, and it's always a whodunit, basically.
Right.
And then the thing that like isn't really talked about a lot, but it's really true, and I don't know if it's just translation loss or what.
Paradise Lost.
Right. There's just this weird, like a lot of shit doesn't make sense, or like scenes don't really make sense together. Like I said, it's kind of like dream logic, and like in a lot of movies that just doesn't seem to work, but for some reason, at least personally, I think it works in
Italian and Japanese
Italian
horror
movies. Yeah, that's true too. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on? And then you're just like, oh, okay, that was great, actually. That like added to the whodunitness.
I'm here for this.
Oh, what is that? Oh my
This is
gosh.
my long-winded answer to the question that I actually forgot what it was.
I forgot what it was too. Thanks, Glenn. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
You're welcome.
I'm tweeting real quick.
I would say another one besides like creative kills is usually extensive gore, sometimes really good and sometimes really
right. Oh
hokey.
my gosh, what is happening with TJ?
You're getting a live adjustment of the camera here. I just couldn't deal with it, man. I was like looking at it and I looked real funny from that angle.
Oh, are you saying I did a poor job? Sorry.
No, I'm
Sorry,
on a small television here as my monitor. So it's like it's like a whole thing, right? So I was like, I realized at one point that my head looked like Pinhead from Puppet Master, and my body was extra big because the pitch of the camera had me really disproportionate. And I was like, I can't fucking deal with this. I gotta fix this. So I took my phone off my tripod where it was, because I forgot my phone holder in California.
Oh my god.
And now it's on the tripod and everything's right with the world. We're all in good shape.
You're a hot mess, mister. Okay. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Glenn, carry on. I interrupted because TJ was throwing me off.
Welcome to the party, pal.
No, I think I pretty much said my piece about what are the hallmarks of Italian horror. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, and I'll think about it.
That's okay.
At like 2 a.m. tonight.
Oh my god, TJ, I want your keyboard so bad.
I know, isn't it the
sexy
best?
Fucking keyboard.
I'm not sponsored by Alienware, but I can tell you this: best fucking keyboard I've ever owned.
Oh my gosh, because when I like type, it's a hand me down from TJ. It's clack 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 clack. So when you hear me type, I'm so sorry. This is so smooth though. Anyway, let's get a little of informazione on the film. It grossed 985 million. Is that pounds?
I saw that. That cannot be right.
I was gonna say Did the world even have that much money in 1980?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
That's wow. Like, because that's the pounds, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
they
the
didn't have
pound.
euros then.
It's the pound symbol, not the hashtag symbol. Zennials.
What did you call them, Glenn? I can no longer see myself on camera.
You look beautiful.
The TV that I was using has officially died. It
Oh my
died
God.
live.
Are you
Died live on
serious? You
camera.
killed it?
I gotta log into Twitch now
Oh my God.
via my iPad.
But listen, you're here at least. He made it. He was not sure he was going to be able to make it tonight.
I was in a car an hour ago, driving 9 hours from Pullman, Ohio.
We're so proud of you for being here.
Yeah, well, I couldn't miss this. I couldn't miss City of the Living Dead and hanging out with the fucking you guys and with the 29ers tonight. I couldn't let that stand.
You can't do that.
Momo, no, I don't believe it is Lira. I've seen that figure she's talking about, and it's definitely the British sterling pound symbol. Oh, it is? Oh,
It's Italian lira. Okay,
I could have swore that.
It does look like the pound, but kind of not, because it's got those little the hash marks. The pound doesn't have that, right? I don't know. Okay, let's see.
Anyways, it didn't make almost $1 billion.
Oh,
that is a lot of money. So when theatrically,
Momo, okay.
Two horizontal lines instead of one.
Okay.
When theatrically released in the United States in 1983, the original title was Twilight of the Dead. Due to the fact that both the title and poster art were derivative of Dawn of the Dead, 1978, United Film Distribution Company filed a cease and desist order against motion picture marketing. Posters and prints of the movie bearing the title Twilight of the Dead were pulled, altered, and sent back with the new title, The Gates of Hell. Which, TJ, you think you have a VHS of that? The Gates of Hell?
I do.
How very exciting.
I believe that is the version that I have.
I love it. Also interesting. I mean, I guess after getting screwed over Night of the Living Dead, it would make sense that they would be incredibly protective of Dawn of the Dead, because somebody forgot to. We'll get into it later.
In due
episodes.
time.
Yeah.
In due time.
There's this history is convoluted and really confusing. How the Italian horror movie market really tried to rip off the American horror movie market, especially Dawn of the Dead.
Really?
Especially Fulci. So obviously Night of the Living Dead did okay initially. And then they did Dawn, and Dawn became a really pretty big hit, or especially in Italy. So the Italians, I don't know what their copyright laws are, but they definitely are more lax about it.
Wow.
So Fulci, immediately after Dawn of the Dead, made Zombie, which is what it was called here.
Mm-hmm.
But in Italy, it was called Zombie 2. And the reason being, when Dawn of the Dead was released in Italy, it was called Zombie. So he made a movie that was marketed as a sequel, even though
What?
it wasn't.
What?
Oh, tricky Italian.
Wow.
And then they made, I think, 5 or 6 more zombie movies, titled Zombie 3, 4, 5, 6.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
And all of them have basically nothing to do with the ones before it.
That's wild.
And I think this is true, but basically right after he did Zombie or Zombie 2, whatever you want to call it, he did this movie, which we'll get into later, but you can tell from the score that it's Dawn of the Dead.
You know what?
Hey.
Let's just
do
it. Let's get into it. Let's talk about this movie.
Let's just steal IP from another director?
No, God no.
Oh, okay. I was like, man,
although,
I mean, Night of the Living Dead is, I think, in public domain.
That
Sure.
super, it is, yeah. Poor guys. That's another story for another day. Though that does make me think of a particular production company that does those movies where you're like, oh, that's that one that just came out, where it's just close enough to the title of the movie that just came out that was super popular and similar enough in scope that you may pick up the wrong one at, well, when
Yeah.
Blockbuster was out.
That's
Right.
Asylum.
Sure is.
That's the
Asylum
one.
Pictures with such movies such as Transmorphers, which is my favorite.
Yeah.
They did one recently for a movie that came out, a horror movie that came. I can't remember what it is though. But then we also have Asylum to thank for the Sharknado franchise.
We
So,
This
do.
is true.
you know, they give and take, and they follow me on Twitter, and I don't know why. But
Because
I was really excited when they did. I was like, "Oh my God, Asylum follows me on Twitter."
you're on your way up, buddy.
Yeah, someday someone's
I
gonna give
want
me
you to know.
money, and then I'm gonna make a horror movie, and then if I'm lucky, if we are all so fucking lucky, Asylum will make a
Make one.
knockoff version of my horror movie, and then full circle, I can die a happy man,
Can
and then
we
I'm in good shape.
can we come up with an asylum style name of this movie after we're done reviewing it?
Oh. Of this movie that we're talking about?
Yeah. Like, what would we title it were we to do an
Ooh.
asylum movie?
Oh yeah,
That's a good one. I'm gonna have to think on
bad
that.
makeup and blow up dolls is what I would title it.
I mean, it's supposed to be similar though. You know,
Oh,
it could
okay.
be something like
City of the bad makeup and blow up dolls.
Burrow of the Living Dead, perhaps.
Township of
Right.
the Living Dead.
District of the Living Dead. I'm sorry, that was supposed to be after. We digress. Okay.
We digress. Let's get into let's
Glenn?
do it. I have no. Someone's gonna need to record my scores for me because I don't have a monitor anymore.
I
I'm
will
not.
listen.
I'm flying blind here. I'm looking at the only feed I've got is the Twitch delay on my iPad.
So you have all of your notes in here, or no, you don't?
No, I have no notes. I'm calling it live like you
Shit.
usually do. D.
Okay. I have so many notes. And to be fair, full disclosure, I'm running on fumes as I usually do because I'm an exhausted individual, and this is not. I'm not trying to be like I'm so tired, I'm so busy. No, I just literally can't find time to pee sometimes because there's so much going on. Take some of that work away from me, somebody. I mean, I don't want to get fired or anything for my job, but all I'm
With
saying
that,
is
we'd like to thank our sponsor, Depends, for when you can't take a break from work and you just gotta go. Depends.
thanks, Depends.
Someday someone's gonna see this show or one of the other shows we do on this channel and be like, "Oh wow, yeah."
They're
what-
gonna throw
we
us
should-
all sorts of adult diapers and
we should
beverages.
sponsor them.
Hell yeah. Right. So as I was saying, I fell asleep while we were watching it last night, and then I tried to rewatch it today, and I'm like 16 minutes shy. So full disclosure, I have not seen the end. So I will
That's
be
okay,
rating it
actually.
on the first 1 hour and 15 minutes. or 1 hour and 17 minutes.
Glenn will
That's-
describe what the end is to you.
Great.
That's actually okay because, ironically enough, there's a fair amount of, I don't want to say controversy because this isn't a new movie, surrounding the end of this movie. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It kind of drags on shots for too long.
You know why? The ending is different, right? And let's talk about it later. Let's talk about it.
Oh, okay.
This is
I was going to say that's why it's funny that you haven't seen the end because, like, who cares?
Okay, let us start with Glenn. Glenn, talk to us about the script of City of the Living Dead. Give me your thoughts.
Like we've talked about numerous times on the show, like for some reason we decided the baseline is like a 7
Right.
for something that's not good or bad, even though that's not the middle of a 10-point scale. Hashtag math.
Hashtag math.
Learn it, motherfucker.
I guess we could. I'm going to say we did that on purpose because just getting a movie out gives you points.
This is true.
That's actually
Good on
true.
you for selling the fucking script, whether it
Yeah.
sucked or not.
It's no shit. I'm going to be fully truthful here. I'm probably giving this a much higher score than it should. I'm definitely like an Italian horror movie like apologist in some categories. Like you don't watch them for the story other than like I said earlier, the what the fuck factor. Something happens, the dead come back to life, yada yada. fucking gore, the end is basically the reason you watch this movie.
Reason for the season, right?
Yeah.
And that it does well.
Yeah.
So it does. So like I would have knocked it down below the normal because it's not a great script. I mean, it's not even a good script, but I gave it an extra half point because some of the left turns. What is going on with TJ?
He's gone. We lost him.
Some of the left turns and just like randomness that happen even for these types of movies.
It elevates
I
it
have
for
to give
you?
it an extra half point. Yeah.
Fair enough. Hey, people like what they like.
We'll get into it. All I'm going to say is like the main reason I gave it an extra half point is because the audacity of what they did with the wind machine.
Oh man,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
that was fucking intense. dude.
Honestly, I
But
feel
we
like that
can
was a
talk about-
leaf blower, really.
I apparently it was 2 real movie wind machines, which are no joke if you've ever been around those.
Yes, they're huge. Okay. So what was that? What's
Oh, I didn't give the numbers.
with all your extra half points?
6.5.
Yeah. Okay.
on the script.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I know that's way too high.
Hey,
I'm
6.5.
fully aware.
do what you want to do, buddy.
I picked this, so it has to be good scores.
No, it doesn't.
I know.
TJ.
Yeah, I watched this last night right before bed because I realized I wasn't going to get here in time to watch it. So I was a little tired. But from what I can recall, script was bad.
Oh, yeah.
That's real bad.
It was real
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
But kudos. I will say this. I like the fact that they took, and again, this might have just been budget. This might have been them being lazy. I don't know what the real reason for the season was here, but I respect the fact that they took a different approach to creating the undead.
Okay.
Mhm.
I don't think it was a good approach. I think a preacher killing himself and then like smearing goop on people, making them zombies was a shitty way to make zombies. But ultimately it was an original way to make zombies.
Sure.
So I started my baseline out with that with like a solid 7 because original way to make it. Kudos
Okay.
to you. It went down from there,
Oh,
You gave
okay.
7?
as you might expect.
He started at a 7. Now he's
Oh.
going down.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and and then the dialogue started, and then it lost a point, went to 6, and then the story progressed, and then it went to a 5, and that's where it stayed.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't want to go lower than a 5 because I thought it at bare minimum deserved the 5
Mm-hmm.
for creating a unique way to make a zombie.
I can
Sure.
respect that. I don't know if you saw this, but Mo did a little bit of money translation and adjusted inflation. So it looks like it was 614,000 USD at the time, and 1.66 million USD adjusted for inflation. Because Mo is cool like that. Thank you, sir.
That's probably not bad for 1980.
No, I mean, I don't think I saw what the budget was. We'll have to
I'm
look
sure they
into that
didn't
later. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Not very much.
And I can tell you what it wasn't. It wasn't 1.66 million.
No, you are correct. Okay,
I
so we
hope
got
it wasn't.
a 6.5 and a 5.
5 is more accurate.
I've got some notes here.
I know.
Oh, hey, by the way, can one of you two write down my scores as I'm
I
saying?
did.
Oh,
I said
thanks.
I got this, yo. I got you, boo.
I forgot. Listen, I'm very tired.
Okay, we'll get through this quickly for you, sir. So
I'm
you
gonna
can
eat
take a
pizza
nap.
afterwards, though.
I am
I'm really
very happy
excited
for you,
that.
but don't brag. Okay,
Nobody likes a braggart.
it's.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hmm?
I thought you were saying something.
Oh, I was just saying I was jealous because I can't get good pizza here, but that's
Yeah,
me
I am jealous.
hating
too.
on where I am.
You can get good ramen, and I would
Yes,
trade that.
such
I would
good
trade
ramen.
that with you.
Oh my god, get ramen. Anyway, okay.
I don't know about that.
It's really kind of hard for me. It's hard to tell because
Yeah.
the script is delivered so robotically and terribly in some areas. It's hard to ascertain whether or not the script is actually good. I'm guessing it's not, but it is difficult to ascertain. And then I said, but oh my God, why is there a blow up doll in the fireplace of an empty house and a rotting baby corpse? And why does the guy already look like he's a zombie? That was Bob. We found out
Left
later.
turns.
Bob was a fucking interesting character and one that I did not understand why they were in the movie.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna have to. I should maybe even knock it down a point because I never wanted to marry my father. But oh, you know what? I would knock half a point off for that, and then I said, but half a point for a cute ass kitten. So there we go. That's why we're up at 6.
But they threw it.
Yeah, they did throw it.
They tossed it into a chair. It's probably okay, but it's still cute. Also, I'm sorry. Why would you interrupt a session like that? Some sort of therapy session. It's very unprofessional. And I know it was 1980, but an unattended coffin as a writing desk, like, rude. Union hours, that was accurate. That was the gravediggers who decided
I was
to
like, what?
stop burying halfway through. They were like, he's like, are you going to leave it like that? And they're like, union hours, and she's not going to mind. And I guess it's a good thing that they did stop because Mary survived, but also, what's the deal with the pickaxe? You could have just tried to pry it open. You almost killed her 3 times. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that seemed mad reckless.
Yeah, right at her face. I mean, at least try and aim for her legs or something so you could just, maim her legs and not her brain.
Yeah, crazy bold choice.
This is why I give it a higher score, because, like, that's not written in American movies.
No.
Because it makes no fucking sense. No one takes a pickaxe, and if you're going to pickaxe a fucking coffin open with somebody you think's alive, you're not aiming for where the head's going to be.
Right.
No, but that guy went right, left, and center.
Yeah.
Crazy
Also,
decision.
Thank God Mary wasn't autopsied, even though they didn't know what she died from, or embalmed. Like, okay, but all right. So
leave her raw.
Leave her be.
Let her be digested and whole by the earth.
Late 70s were a different time, y'all.
They were. Also, I'm wondering what the hell was the deal was with Bob, because if Bob took Annie into the woods and was a big old pervert, why is she like, hey, let's smoke a joint? And then her dad just fucking murdered him, and she ran away and let it happen.
Wow,
I'll
was
talk
intense.
about that in a minute, about
like
my thought on Bob and what happened to him.
And then one more thing. I would like to call shenanigans on the zombies getting through the skulls to the brain tissue with such a shallow grip. And, like, how strong are these zombies, right? I mean, like...
Well, they're supernatural zombies. Remember, they can tell.
Fair enough. That's true. This is true. Okay. But, I'm sorry, no. It's a shallow grip. You won't be able to get that much brain gush that easily. Like, it's at the first grip that they get brain gush. And I call shenanigans on that. No matter how strong they are.
Zombie hands, have you?
Yeah, you know their strength, their natural strength.
No. It's not about the strength. It's about being able to get through the skull first. You wouldn't immediately get to zombie mush. You have to get through at least half an inch of skull and stuff before you get through. So it's not going to immediately pop out zombie mush, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's
those are my
did.
shenanigans.
He squeezed so hard.
No.
That the pressure from the skull collapsing exploded the brains out of the exit wound.
I do not accept.
Glenn, you look fantastic tonight, by the way, my guy.
Thank you.
Purple is your color.
Your camera looks real sharp. The purple's looking really good. Denise, you look fantastic tonight with the red.
Thanks. You do too.
I have my brother's old pack sun.
You have your sunglasses.
Oh. I will say your frame is very symmetrical and it's very pleasing.
It is.
Well, I'm
6.
glad
I give it a 6.
A 6. So a 5, a 6, and a 6.5.
What? Oh, I went back to the show. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, you're giving his what? 6 isn't a great number.
I confused you. Let's talk about the acting.
It's not hard.
The acting.
Oh, boy, let's.
Yes, let's. I didn't even write any notes for that, actually.
Denise just wrote,
shit.
Acting, question mark?
Fucking garbage. I don't know why that's my Denise voice. It's not accurate.
Who goes first, Denise?
Glenn does.
Glenda?
I heard Glenn does.
TJ did not.
again, I'm going to be an apologist here.
Oh.
Again, I picked this movie, so this I'll just get into it.
Do it.
So like all Italian horror movies up until I think, good God, like the 90s. Did I say Italian movies or Italian horror movies? What did I just say?
I don't know,
I think
honestly.
you said Italian movies, but I'm
Okay,
not sure.
I'm not gonna.
I'll have to rewind.
Whatever. I meant Italian horror movies. The common practice was to record zero dialogue on set ever.
God.
Like this was just common practice in their industry. I've read it's because they found that it saved time. They could have loud ass lights. They could have I don't know. Maybe they were awesome sets and like there was like espresso machines just always fucking running. That'd be awesome.
Java
I
the
don't
truck
know.
right outside set.
That-
Oh,
I
The
mean-
director's
so good.
just yelling live direction at the actors, like,
I
"Do
mean-
it better! Do it better! You
I mean, maybe.
stupido!"
It's stupid,
I mean,
though.
can you imagine how much better sets would be if you didn't have to record sound all the time?
I mean,
Yeah, well, the three of us have been on enough of them. I can tell you right now, if there was no sound, you could shoot 6-hour days.
sets, but
Yeah.
not movies.
It's true.
How much better would sets be, but the movies?
This is true.
Well,
That's a good
clearly
point.
this is a prime example of
A
what
prime
happens
example.
when you don't,
Right.
you don't tend to the needs of
Yeah.
the sound part of the sound and picture experience we know as a movie.
Right. So this is like true of almost all Italian horror movies.
This makes a
They
lot of sense.
overdub every single line. And a lot of the reasons I've also read that they did this, besides just like faster days, which I'm sure is accurate, is they knew that they would have to make a version in Italian because that's what they speak in their country.
Mm-hmm.
But they
Guys.
also want to make money on it, so they would make an English version. So if you just had your actors on set speaking their lines correctly, either in English or Italian, and you overdub it, it's going to look half-ass like they're saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you shoot it well. Which there are times in this movie where you can't tell if they're overdubbing or not, and I would guess that they didn't shoot sound ever. They might have, but I'm not sure.
I mean, I would say maybe where it's better. I don't know if you can't tell.
I'll say
There's some scenes with the clearly American actors where I
Mhm.
am not sure if they did or not, but like knowing the practices, I'm guessing they just didn't.
You know, I mean, like, listen,
I'm
we
listening.
here in the States
Oh my
get
gosh.
foreign horror and it's
Yeah.
oft times dubbed. Foreign countries get US movies and they are oft times dubbed.
Right.
This dude was like, why should anyone have good audio if everyone and that's honestly kind of what this is. Like, I can
Gotta
see that
respect.
logic of like, I'm only going to get to tell this story in a perfect way in one version, and that's unfair to the rest of the audiences. We'll all suffer together.
Sure.
Yes.
Respect to Italian cinema for making that bold, I'm sure, creative choice.
This was another hallmark I was going to say about Italian horror movies, is that they're always overdubbed. I didn't want to give it away until now.
Now, overdubbed in, like,
Or dubbed.
okay, because overdubbed makes it seem like they overdid it.
I mean,
In a
they
way,
did. They
which
did
I
I
the-
would-
mean,
the
Yes,
whole
which
movie.
is
They certainly overdid it.
Accurate.
I mean, they do. I love Suspiria, but the dubbing in that is not great. Like, it syncs fine, but like the acting is weird, mainly because they were. I'll talk about Suspiria when we watch Suspiria, or if we watch it, we better watch it.
You will.
Hell yeah, we're gonna watch. It's on your list.
It's your
man.
favorite.
Pick
It
it
is.
next time. You're gonna get a pass with Demons 1 and 2 because I'll gladly put those up.
Okay.
So
back to the acting.
My long-winded version of this is that like I can't give it's really hard to give this a number because are you judging the acting that's on screen, or are you judging the acting that's the voice acting, which usually is the same actors just fucking months later?
Right.
I can't imagine how awful that is to try to recreate your line later.
It's a nightmare.
I'm sure.
ADR, but in another language.
And then the other thing is like, you don't watch Italian horror movies for the script other than just like to hear what crazy dialogue they wrote for them. So I gave this the exact middling number that we always give everything, a 7.
Rock solid 7.
Okay.
Because
Anthony. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No. Carry on. No.
There are Italian horror movies where you're just like, this was fucking terrible, or like you can tell even though it's dubbed that actor was doing a shit job acting in that scene. I didn't really get any of that in this. Usually. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go on.
No, you're good.
My 20-minute answer to that question.
And
this is
that's
your
the
pick,
show.
buddy.
Thanks, everybody. We only got to talk about the script, and one of us talked about acting, but we thank you always for joining us on Blood and Popcorn. Have a great weekend.
You know, I bet the audience would love it if we just kept it to script and acting.
Right.
Let's cut our entire deck down by 50%.
Cut our losses.
Yeah. Is it my turn to go?
It's your turn.
So much like the script, the acting was bad. But I do have a soft spot for Italian horror, as Glenn does.
Yeah.
So I understand the goal. I think there was some very bold acting agreements in this film, so they got major points for that. Letting someone
agreements
squirt
shit! I didn't even say what I was meant by
into
that.
your eyeballs is that's a bold actor, and kudos to
committed.
The screen, like the some of the female leads were actually pretty decent. A lot of the supporting stuff was bad. The guy with the cigar, man, I couldn't tell
that newspaper reporter
bad or good. I just didn't like him.
You just
they found that dude in Savannah and they just filmed him.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I smoke green cigars, and
he was an actual newspaper reporter.
Fuck, man, like, how did you get this job? Like, but
that's writing an article.
But you know, all in all, the acting was pretty bad. But again, it is what it is. It's Italian horror. For Italian horror, I gave it a 6.5.
Okay, 6.5. I'm recording that. I didn't have any notes, but I agree with both of you. And the acting, it is again difficult to ascertain, very difficult. Yeah. And I think we've generally stopped doing the dubbing thing. I know it still exists, but I prefer it if we sort of continue that way. Because think about something like, which we'll talk about sometime later, Train to Busan. I mean, yeah, it has subtitles, but my God, is it stunning. Like, hot shit. It is so good.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that, I understand why they did it, but I think it definitely, even though it became part of a certain movies' identities, like kung fu movies and things like that, I think it did take away from a lot of them in a way. But it is what it is. And yes, the commitment to some of these gags, absolutely. I'll give it a 7 because that's, even with all of the really rough, like, translation and meshing together of the dubbing and the filming.
Yeah.
Like, the commitment is astounding, and that's very impressive. And
I'll tell you, the fact that they didn't just straight up fucking vomit all over the place in the maggot scene.
Yeah.
Like they kept it in character. I would have passed out. Like I would have been passed out in a pile.
Not
of
only were they shooting that shit at them, a lot of them had them glued to their faces so you could tell what they were. And then Rose, I just read, she actually swallowed some intestines and regurgitated them back up.
Yep.
In her death scene, and she had zero reaction, and that is when people are talking about stillness. And like that's one big thing, like somebody has such stillness, like that is such an impressive thing to accomplish. There are few people who can do that, who can emote without doing anything, and she did an excellent job.
She
that
did.
scene was so fucking gross.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
This was actually going to be my prologue of like why I actually gave it a 7. I would have given this like truly like a 5, but it got 2 extra points for both of those scenes.
Yeah.
The maggots, we can get into this, but like they used tens of pounds of maggots and like literally shot them from a true like wind machine at these actors, I'm sure multiple times. Like that's full on 1 point. I mean, basically they should get a 10 for that, for them not like stabbing the crew.
I'd have been passed out. I'd have been on the floor.
Humane Society wasn't on set for that one.
It's an Italian movie. No,
they murder animals all the time.
That's true. Oof. Cannibal Holocaust. Anyways.
Oh my God, the floor was covered. Okay, no,
it
we'll get to that'll be effects or production
then, like,
design. I don't know.
Right, and then what you said about her like regurgitating real intestines and shit or tripe. It doesn't matter, whatever.
Same
whatever.
thing.
It's real innards, and that's like after or before, I don't know which, they shot where they put that fucking blood that like it like is in her eyes, and shots you can see her eyes are red.
Her eyes are red, and it's coming out, and she's not even blinking.
No.
And it's like pouring out. Holy crap.
Like, one, to endure that and like give a shit performance is one thing, but like she actually did a really good job in that. Like full on extra point. That's why it gets a 7 from me.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Poor actors. And I like never say that.
Special effects. This brings us right into special effects. Glenn.
Oh, it's me?
It's you, Glenn. You're the man.
It's your day, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, this truly was the reason I picked this. One, I wanted to do an Italian horror movie that isn't like one of my favorites or one of my like top 5. I do really, really like this movie, and I actually like it more every time I watch it. But like the true reason I picked this is because it has some really great practical effects, some of which really still stand really fucking well. And it was mainly the effects that I wanted to see the reactions of year 2 from, and hear from chat what they thought about. It's from the era, early 80s, late 70s, when Italian horror movies really started to lean into like goo, and like
it's very gooey,
not just like blood and like makeup designs of wounds and shit, but like just full on like pus and like what the fuck is happening.
More textures.
Yes, which we'll get into when
TJ crank the dial on the gross.
Yeah, exactly. Like as illogical as the skull smashing and bringing out brains, like I would imagine they used some sort of real brain for that effect.
Oh, probably.
It looked too damn real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The butchers in town loved him.
But like that, the scene with Bob when they drill his fucking head, there's shots where I don't know how they didn't actually like hurt him. I'm sure they didn't.
They might have murdered him.
We don't know. We don't
he
know
might
for
be
sure.
Dead. Bob might actually be dead.
I'll look into Bob, see when he
we need a wellness check on Bob.
You're right. Like again, the vomiting gut scene. Like obviously, there's scenes where it's like it's truly her because it's her vomiting shit out, and it's not just like a fake piece of latex. You're just like, oh, whatever. They put stage blood on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they put stage blood on it, but it was like that was a real innard that was
He's
in
still
her mouth.
alive.
Thank God.
Wow.
Giovanni Lombardo Radice, and he's filming right now. He's filming The Witches of the Sands. He plays Giovanni the Destroyer.
I'm interested.
I can't
I'm gonna find that and watch that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's his real name, so great, good for him. He just finished a movie called Baphomet. It's perfect.
Baphomet.
Right.
Oh my gosh,
Devil worship.
Violent Shit, the movie.
Oh,
Is it violent shit?
Violent
that on
Shit, the movie.
Ooh.
No.
What?
He said put that on the list.
I mean, I'm gonna watch
on our
violent
list?
shit.
Yes. I don't know if I want to talk about it though. Anyway.
I've heard of violent shit. It's actually on my personal queue of things to watch.
Of course it is. Carry on.
I'll watch it with you, Glenn.
Bob.
All right.
We're talking about Bob.
Bob and his violent shits.
I mean, even the like when she's vomiting her guts out, and they cut away to like a fake head that's vomiting.
Mhm.
It's not a well. There's 2 out of like 5 shots I think where it looks not great.
Yeah.
But there's a couple where you're like, that was pretty decent. I mean, that's more editing than anything, but it was pretty good, I think.
Okay. And your
The number
Mhm.
a 9.
Well played.
I also give them credit because I believe this was the first time we've ever seen a zombie look this way. They weren't, and this is not shitting on any movie. Like it wasn't just like green paint, or it wasn't
Right,
like
Glenn hates Romero.
Well, they used all the green paint
fuck you, I don't hate.
on the actors who weren't zombies.
That's true.
They used all the zombie makeup on them for some
Right.
reason.
Who else does Glenn hate? Is it just
John
Romero?
Carpenter
John Carpenter, my bad.
hates him.
Glenn hates George Romero. Glenn hates John Carpenter. Is that one T-shirt or 2?
No, it's a whole list. It's
a
all
whole
of
list?
Glenn's favorite directors, and it just says Glenn hates,
hates.
and then the thank you bag of Glenn's favorite directors, and that's the show.
Okay, carry on. I'm sorry to interrupt.
To my point, this was the first time.
I'm so gonna make that fucking shirt.
I know you are. That's
I'm literally
why
gonna
I'm.
make it.
Anyways, it's I believe the first time we've ever seen, and really since zombies look this way. Like I don't really know how to explain it. It looks
Usually there's like a dried out kind of crinkly look, and this was very gooey and drippy and real. It was real wet.
But it's also different from what they did later in like Demons, which was like latex effects that they made wet and gooey. Like this just truly looked like they put I don't know what it was.
I
just
mean,
like gooey shit on them.
It looks
then again,
like rotting flesh.
It does, or I assume what rotting.
Well, I mean,
flesh
yeah,
looks like.
I don't exactly know. Sorry.
I mean, outside of like a dead deer, I don't really know what rotting flesh looks like.
I drove by so many dead deer on the way here today.
Oh,
like
really?
7 or 8 of them.
Oh my gosh, they hit a
Yeah.
lot of them in Pennsylvania.
And a huge raccoon. Crazy.
Because there's so many deer in the Midwest, basically between the coasts.
They need to do one of those crossing bridges over the freeway.
They can't even.
There's so many deer.
They're certainly not going to put a fucking.
Well, that's
bridge.
true. They've been working on the what was it, the 84 since
yeah,
2008.
Every street in every road in America has been perpetually under construction for years.
Bob's name. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's say this real quick. Giovanni Lombardo Radice, Radice.
You just wanted to do your Italian accent.
No, somebody asked me. Okay.
Is it my turn?
Oh yeah,
Whose turn
It's
is
your
it?
turn. I think. Are you done, Glenn?
Yeah.
Word up. Yeah. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I would say the effects in this movie get a 7.5.
Okay.
And here's why. as someone who has worked with uh guts, like actual innards, as a special effects artist before,
Oh, it's terrible.
it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's
But
stinky.
it's real stinky. Actually, I'm gonna bump my acting score up to a 7 as well. Just remembering the smell of intestines out of a pack and that poor girl putting that in her mouth. Yeah, bump my 6.5.
Also, did she
Are we still
swallow
doing
them
the drinking
raw?
game? Because that's a drink.
It is. I don't have anything to drink.
We are
I'll
not doing. We are not in. We are not encouraging a drinking game.
No, no, of course
Channel
not.
29 does not encourage
We do not
or
endorse.
No.
support, endorse
Mm-mm.
any drinking game or the like. But yeah,
Drink responsibly. Don't
so
drink and
here's
drive.
the thing,
I
right?
read it in chat.
So I am not a special effects artist. I used to be able to make decent blood, and beyond that,
Almost killed yourself doing it.
I almost killed myself doing it.
Making
I would
blood?
He's
well
allergic.
using blood. So
to
I'm
red
allergic
dye.
to red food dye, and I was doing a scene once with this dude GQ from the white dude in Drumline, uh, as he introduced himself. Um, but yeah, I'm GQ, the white
I'm
dude.
sorry, I can't not. That's
Yeah.
a great way to introduce yourself. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
he's on the cover art, so it's right there.
Is
So
it's just like an arrow white dude in drumline? It's not his
so
real name.
so we had G wrapped up in cellophane naked from head to toe, and I'd made a face piece.
You were making a movie?
Yeah, we were
Short
making
film.
a movie. Yeah, short film. Cops came. It was a real bad scene. So like I had him wrapped up from head to toe. I just had his face open, right? And then I would put a piece of cellophane over his face which would suffocate him. Um, so I had
That's
run
why the
some
cops-
tubing.
Again, you're making a movie here?
Yeah, right. He's still alive and well. Bear with me.
Okay.
This is not a cannibal holocaust situation. So I ran some tubing up through the headpiece into the forehead and into the sides, so that when I pumped the syringe, it would fill the tubes and pump the blood into his face mask. So it looked, because he had just been bopped on the head with a stone, with a rock, and any blood was going to fill the mask. It was all shot on 16 millimeters, so it was really cool looking, right? So I pushed the plunger, and there's just too much pressure. It's not going through. I can't push. The syringe has failed.
Yep.
Now we're shooting. This is all being cut in camera because it was for a film competition, and you couldn't edit it. You had to send in the raw footage. So
Great. I'm gonna have to offline.
it
What
was
crazy?
no, it was
ass
actually
is this?
it was 8 millimeters, the Straight 8 festival in the UK, I think.
Okay.
So I'm like panicked because we have one take at this.
Not the Nicolas Cage movie.
No. So I'm pushing the plunger. It's not going down. I rip the plunger out. I take the ladle. I take a ladle I've been using to mix the blood. I take a huge scoop of it. I pour it into my mouth, and I hand blow the blood with nothing but my lungs.
This was pre-COVID too, so
through the mask, and it fills up his face, and the shot looks great. But I'm very allergic to red food dye, so my throat closed up instantly. And then the cops showed up, and we almost got into a lot of trouble.
G had to hop over, and I
we
wasn't
had to
there,
prove
but I heard the
that
story.
someone wasn't being murdered, but there was like 10 cop cars, like guns drawn. Someone reported a murder in progress. So
This is why you get permits, folks.
This is why you get permits, folks. That was the second encounter we had with the police that day in Santa Monica. Oh God. But no, so yeah, back to what I was saying. So I'm not a special effects artist, but I've made some really cool looking special effects using real animal parts from like the butcher, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really treat that as high special effects.
That's fair.
I think there is an art form to making it look how they made it look. I think the blood looked artistically good. It didn't look like blood, like human blood, but more like paint blood. But I liked how it was used. So I gave it a 7.5 because I think that, like Denise said, that the shallow grabs at the head and the weird when you do punch into the models, they're not great. Like when they're forcing more through or something, like in a couple of their shots, it's not really great. So 7.5, a little above average, but a score so good that it gave another category a half a point. So
Boom. That's amazing.
yeah, so that's me. Sorry, I went on a very long time with that story, but I hope everyone enjoyed it.
You
No,
did.
that's a great story. I can hear my former roommate shuddering. He's an effects artist.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we got to get him on here sometime to talk about special effects.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure he'd love that.
Do you think that they did any special effects with their pupils when they first sit down after Mary gets saved? They sit down and they have a close up on all of their eyes, and I know that lady has like one black eye and one black pupil and one regular like brown eye, but I can't remember his name, and Mary's, one of their, like right around the line right around their pupil is like much more pronounced, and it could just be how their eyes are, but it was very interesting. So I notated that, and I was like, I wonder if that is just how their eyes are, or maybe not, because in other scenes I didn't really see it as pronounced. Maybe it was because it was a close-up. I don't know, but that's a question for me. Wow, the eye bleed on Rose, that wowed me.
I agree.
I
That's
thought
why
it was
that's one of the
amazing.
reasons I gave it a high score.
I thought that was phenomenal. I loved, like you had said, Glenn, I think yesterday when we were talking, excuse me. Excellent idea on puking up your entire insides.
She's thinking about it, just retching thinking about it.
Yeah, right there, Pantoja.
It's really smoky in here.
Smoky.
Got a hookah in there?
I think it's your incense still in the air, maybe?
Well, no, incense burns and then goes away. If it's smoky, you should probably get up and check the house to make sure that the
or
house
it
isn't
could
on
be
fire.
the drums. The smell of the drums is bothering me.
If you were in California,
If it
I'd
still
say
smells.
you're in California, but
I've been smelling cigarette smoke a lot.
Oh.
It could just be getting to me because I'm sitting in the room.
Mm,
TJ doesn't smoke cigarettes.
no, that's fucking gross. But I bought a drum set from a guy that did a lot, and I still haven't been able to air them out properly.
Very dry. It's very dry in here. Now it's hot. I have the heater on. Anyway, that's
Jesus, you all right there, Pantoja? Do we have to send a fucking ambulance over there for a
I'm
wellness check? What's going on?
fine. I'm still talking. I'm okay. I thought it was done really well on puking up her insides until we got to the papier-mâché head because it was awful. It was so terrible.
I will swear I think there are I think at least two shots that are the head and you're not sure it is unless you really like there's a few where you're just like
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, I definitely spotted them.
Yeah.
Anytime there was a shift, I spotted it.
That baby carcass was okay. It was weird. The one.
I couldn't even tell what it was.
Yeah, I mean, but it was little, so you're like, okay, maybe
it was a
that's like a little
gooey
bit-
worm mess.
Yeah.
Pretty good effect, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, granted they're using real things, which is smart to make it look real.
Yeah.
The pool of wriggling worms after Emily is killed. That was pretty cool. Emily's dead face, cool. Like the zombies' faces were cool. I liked that. I really appreciated it. The fog and wind definitely set the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So much
There was a
fog.
lot
Fog
of
is
it.
more.
There was
Yeah.
a lot of it.
There was.
But I think it helped set the atmosphere really well. The maggots. Oh my god, the maggots.
So gross.
Are you
I don't
going to
really
give
know
the
what
stat
to
or do you want
say
me
about
to?
that. Huh?
Do you want me to give the stat or do you want me to?
Give the what?
The stat on the maggots?
Oh, I think you did, didn't you?
I didn't actually say the number.
Yeah, tell us.
So they used in the scene, if you've seen it, you know what we're talking about. A window blows open for no reason and is never explained.
For no reason. Well, it's very windy outside.
Yeah,
Right.
it's raining maggots. Everybody, bring your umbrella.
So they used 2 full-on Hollywood wind machines, apparently, which it looks like they did, and then they used 22 pounds of real live maggots, and they basically shot them at the actors.
Until there were none left.
Yeah, right. The actors or the maggots.
They quit, all 4 of them that day.
I don't even know where you go about procuring 22 pounds of maggots.
I mean, I don't either at all. But maybe it's from like, I don't know, it was from 1979. And this might not have happened yet because I'm like,
MZ.
There's what's up, M? How's it going? They do have now, and I don't know when it started. It was probably in the 80s, like the forensics training, and they, in order to determine the decomposition levels, there has to be a place that just churns maggots out, like it's a whole fly facility.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Coming to the stage, fly facility.
Yeah.
Before we move on, like, I didn't read my notes before I gave my answer. I agree. Like, honestly, one of the reasons I really, really love this movie is just like that weird quality that it has. Like, it's, again, like I keep using the word dreamlike or more nightmare-esque. And it's mainly because of the like crazy amount of fog and haze they used on this movie, which clearly a lot of it was just smoke in a wind machine.
Yeah.
When they were just outside.
I mean, but like the biggest smoke machine ever.
Yeah,
Because
truly.
It was actually just the grips just smoking cigars.
Right.
Yeah, right. And that stuff is really hard. I mean, there's 2 different types. There's and again, this was 1980, so I don't know if these 2 different types existed then. There's fog and there's haze.
I think they did it with smoke. In some of it.
Actual smoke, yeah. And that stuff is hard to keep going. It's hard to keep in the area, especially if you're outside. So it would be interesting to know exactly what that was, because
many a day have I sat with a flag, a little 2x3, like waving smoke into a scene, gently wafting it from underneath.
Gently wafting.
Gently wafting.
The coolest thing I've ever played with was an outdoor fogger. And it's just like I can't even do it in this frame. Like, it's like a gun, like as wide as your arm span.
Okay, that's cool.
And it like shoots out projectile smoke.
Oh, well, all right.
And it's loud as shit. It's basically a generator.
You guys ever use one of those old Epic? Thank you for the gift subs, guy.
Epic.
You maniac, Epic. You. Thank you. Epic just broke 200 gift subs last night.
Epic.
And now he's
hit the
up to 205, I think now.
Epic.
I don't even know. Twitch has stopped counting.
Subscription.
It's cut off. It's cut off for me here, and I can't see it.
You broke their metrics.
Have you guys ever used one of the old school like mole foggers or smokers?
Yeah,
where they're wicked hot and like the juice inside is crazy hot.
Yeah.
Oh god, those things are a fucking nightmare. I used one of those in a Moore movie once. It was awful.
They are off. I mean, they work, but they look like contraptions they used on fucking steam engines.
Oh yeah, like it's like some sort of weird fucking
like you need a striped conductor hat.
Yeah. All aboard.
And you're like friends with Buster Keaton to use it. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
What's up, D?
Did I say 7.5? I gave it a 7.5.
Hey,
Ooh.
you did.
Hey,
we tied, D.
Let's get on board the move off of the special effects train and get on board the production design train, Glenn.
Woo woo.
I'll actually read my notes this time.
Or not, it's up to you.
A lot of these were practical effects, practical sets, or locations is the word I'm looking for there. Wow. I could literally just read what I wrote to myself. So I can't give that a whole lot, other than I will say a lot of the places that like clearly were houses or like businesses or whatever that were real. I think they did a really good job of dressing it and making it look more dynamic than it probably was. I don't know, but like I assume like the seance room didn't look the way it did when they got in there.
Yeah, probably not.
Like I think there was a lot of set dressing that probably happened that I thought was really well done. Again, like I don't really know what the budget was, but I can't imagine it was a lot, judging from movies like of this era. I will say, like the end, which isn't good. Not the reason I picked this movie. Like clearly that was a set. They built that. Like they didn't go into some underground catacomb that had a stained glass skylight. With the, you know what I'm talking about? Oh, you didn't see the end.
I did not see the end, though. I did see when they went down there. Although that was, I'll wait.
I mean, I think they built it.
They had to have. It was very weird to me because it was like a huge, like tombstone that covered like a mausoleum of several people that were interred in there.
Yeah.
And he was just buried recently, so then they just put this like it didn't make sense to me at all.
A lot of things didn't make
Dream
sense.
logic.
Well, see,
Italian
there's
horror.
dream logic, but then there's like MacGuffin logic, and that was very MacGuffin.
Yeah. No, I like that. Basically only in this scenario. But you're right, like he basically pushes over a coffin lid and like steps into it. They cut away, and then he's in like this huge like Big Trouble in Little China cavern. And you're just like, what? You're just like, all right, I'm rolling with it already.
I didn't know mausoleums did that. Like I didn't know that you can get a family burial site that looked like one tomb, but then when you took the lid off,
that's what I'm saying.
you went down a ladder into an underground catacomb.
I don't think they work that way.
No, like they don't. Mausoleums or catacombs don't work that way.
You walk into the thing, it's like a building. It's not like it's not like a ooh, you've discovered hidden treasure thing.
Yeah.
I think that again is like one of the things I like about Italian horror movies is you're just like they're just like, here's this leap of faith we're gonna make you do, and either you accept it or you don't. And like if you don't, you're just like out of it and you can't watch the movie anymore, or you're just like, all right.
Italian horror is like suspension of disbelief.
Well, like where was the logic in that grave scene? Because like they popped that lid off and they're like, oh no, wait, am I thinking of the right movie? Did someone take the body from the other side?
What?
I didn't finish watching it, so I'm 13 minutes shy, or 15, something like that. I tried. I haven't even up on this computer.
What happened?
Now I don't remember if this was the movie we watched last night. Is there a scene in the movie where they're in that basement and a dude grabs a crowbar and he starts popping off pieces of the headstone on the wall?
That might have been.
I don't think so.
Oh, then I'm thinking of an entirely different movie.
No, it's, oh my god, it's literally, holy shit, it's literally this frame I have up right now. The newspaper reporter is popping off with a crowbar. He's popping off one of those multiple flat headstones down the stairs.
Yeah, because then he helps the other guy into the hole.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm not going crazy. I thought I was losing my mind because the guy says someone must have taken it from the other side. And I was like, in that moment, I'm like, well, how do you know that logically? Because it's underground.
Right.
Like, why would there be another side to a tomb? You know?
Right.
But it turns out that that's like a secret tunnel. and I think that's how
Spoiler,
it
I haven't
went.
finished it. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
you better get to watching it, D.
It's-
While I talk about production design, you should mute your mic and watch the rest of this movie.
I was actually trying. Well, I can't because I would be muting.
Oh yeah, they would hear
Y'all.
it through the desktop audio.
Well, I was trying to finish watching it while we were setting up, and I was like, I can do it. 13:16 left.
I mean, honestly, the last 10 minutes is they're like in the cavern,
Yeah,
like they see the evil
priest.
priest. I guess he's evil after he kills himself.
I mean, listen, he's trying to open the gates of hell, so I would say he's just evil.
Yeah, he's just a bad dude.
Was he? Was he trying to, or did they just happen when he did it?
I think that when I
He
rewatched it, I think that in the seance, they were saying that
he was
what
trying
he
to.
did was open the gates of hell, and it felt like he did it on purpose. You know what I mean? It felt like that's what they were trying to get
hot
across.
take.
But I don't know for sure.
Interesting. I never watched it that way.
Maybe.
I mean, they might have
could be
literally
wrong.
said it. Like, again, like the way I watch these things,
It's not for the story.
it isn't. Like, I truly believe most really well-made Italian horror movies you can watch without dialogue,
Right.
and you
And
get
there
it
is no reason?
because they're just visual. Like, that's all they
Let's
are.
see.
I could see that. So yeah, we can give you like the rundown of the ending.
I mean, basically, they go down in the tomb, and then it's like 10 minutes of them just like burning bodies after they kill
Oh.
kill the ghost priest or whatever you want to call him.
Oh yeah,
Like, it goes on way too long.
but everyone dies at the end, don't they?
Oh no.
No, that's the
There-
mist.
Well, like Astonia Night saying there was a big cross stake. I remember them because the cigar guy gets his brain mushed,
Cigar guy.
and then there's like some talk of the psychic girl getting her intestines brought up, and that happens like once or twice.
Mm.
But then doesn't that dude die at the end? The nerdy guy, or do they go to live happily ever after?
It ends with a child running towards them.
Oh yeah, and there's like a scary moment at the end. Like it's there.
But
It alludes to something weird.
It alludes to something weird that isn't filmed.
Yeah,
That's why the ending sucks. Like, they get out of the catacomb or whatever the fuck it is, and like the kid starts running towards them, and it's like it's dubbed by like somebody who's clearly not a child.
yeah.
Again, an Italian horror movie trope. And then they put like scary music over it, and then they put this like shitty like animation where like it crackles
Yeah,
over the kid while he's smiling in freeze frame because it's the 70s. And then that's the literal end.
yeah. That's how the movie ends, D.
Great.
Which you can talk about when we get to the ending, wherever you wanted to talk about the ending.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
It's possible.
in a couple of these articles, so we've got braineater.com, and I don't know where it says it because it literally just goes line by line of what happens in the movie. And it says, she sees what his sacrifice really means. He's opened the gates of hell. So that makes it sound like he was doing it on purpose because he sacrificed. And then here we go. 100misspenthours.com says, seems that Father Thomas hanged himself in order to open the gates of hell. So it seems like some people believe that he did it on purpose.
That's fair. That might be.
Well, do we know what the ending means?
The ending means that somebody fucked up in the lab.
Right.
That's go ahead, Glenn, you explain it.
Oh,
Or not.
sorry, I was reading chat. Yeah, I realize what you're talking about with the cross Estonian.
Yeah.
That's how they kill the evil priest. Is like they pick up a cross that was there maybe in previous shots, but probably wasn't, and then they stab him somewhere between the stomach and the dick.
Oh, it's right in the dick.
Yeah, it's right in the dick.
The kid?
What?
No, the kid doesn't get stabbed. Denise.
No. They're still in the catacombs. This is
Oh.
our heroes
Inappropriate.
stabbing
Fuck off.
the evil priest.
Oh, hi,
And then after they do it, he like starts like ejecting
like, do
flames
it?
from his wound.
okay.
I almost referenced a movie that I'm not sure anybody's seen, and I'm not even sure I've seen it outside of a fever. Like starts ejecting flames, and then like all the other zombies fall and burst into flames for like 10 minutes, it feels like.
Yeah.
And then like our heroes get out of the tomb, and then it's daylight miraculously, and then the kid starts running towards them. And he's like, "Oh, Mary," or whatever her name is, or whatever he calls her,
Mhm.
John, I believe, because they couldn't come up with a better name for the
Oh,
child.
John. Yeah, it was great. What a great name for a character.
Little John
Right.
John.
Right up there with Bob.
Right. You're right. They could have just called him John or Johnny. Anyways,
Yeah.
comes running towards him, and then they do like the famous bad ending of just freeze framing on the kid, not even making like a weird face, but like smiling, and then they just like do this crackle thing and like a music stinger.
Yeah.
It's like this was bad.
Like the end
But
of
what does
Thriller?
it mean? What does it mean? At least
Exactly.
we get a creepy Vincent Price laugh at the end of Thriller.
Yeah. And that happened because that ending was tacked on.
Right.
I'll just say it because the negative of the I thought you were going to say it. The negative of the original ending was destroyed in the lab.
There's
God.
there's different theories about this. So there's that one that's just
on
the
IMDb.
general like right that it got destroyed in the lab, which probably is accurate. But numerous times people have asked Fulci about this because a lot of people really like this movie and consider it one of his better ones. I am included. There's a theory that he just didn't like the ending and like refused to do anything else, and they basically were like a few weeks out from release.
Ooh.
And the editors were just like,
Okay.
we'll just make it this way. And then the more hilarious version is it's possible that the editor spilled his coffee on the last couple minutes of the original negative.
Like spilled his coffee?
No, like actually did it.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
And because coffee's acidic and fucks up film,
Wow.
ruined it.
Oh, wow. Brutal.
And again, because like this is low budget and it's a horror movie, like they had to get it out, so they were just like, the kid's evil, and that's how they ended it. But there's never been an official like what the fuck actually happened.
Gotcha.
These are like the three theories. I'm going with the lab, not to disparage labs, but like it happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Did we get your production design
8.
score?
Did we do mine yet?
No.
Wow.
Go.
All right,
This is
I'll
the
keep-
longest segment so far.
I'll keep it short.
Excuse me.
It was okay. It wasn't bad. I will give it a 7.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I have a kitty. Very demanding right here. I gave it a 6. It was a bit one-dimensional for me. A lot of the places that they went in, like the bar, a lot of the abandoned places that they were in, the alley seemed very one-dimensional for me. They seemed almost like theater flat-like or like Halloween Haunt flat-like. You know what I mean? Where it's like you can tell like it's pretty fake. It could have been lower because I gave points for the ginormous creepy ass stuffies in Little John John's room, like life-size creepy ass stuffed animals. Holy cow! I think that in oh crap, what's her name? The one who Emily killed when she was taking Little John home. Oh, what's her name?
Therapy patient number 1.
Yes, but she's got a name. And I
Don't
forgot
need it. No,
I
doesn't matter.
I want it. Anyway, I loved her paintings. The rhino and the eyeball.
They are cool.
I thought they were really well done. Sandra. And let's see, the foggy staircase after Sandra's death, after she is killed by Emily, was actually a little reminiscent of The Exorcist. You know, that long staircase, and I thought that was really cool.
That's good. Yeah, I like that.
And I loved Terry's phone at his office, and that's where I am. So that's a 6.
Okay.
6 for me. Although, if you throw the maggots in, that's another 23 pounds. Wardrobe, Glenn.
I'll be very brief, and because it's the shortest thing I wrote. Again, it's late 70s. There isn't anything out of the ordinary for it. But because it's fucking 70s, I give it an extra half point above my normal. I do. I love the 70s. If I was born in the wrong fucking decade. 7.5.
Okay. Mr. Rotell.
Yeah, I'll also go to 7.5. Average, but well, I guess it's not a period piece because it was shot during the period in which it looked.
Right.
But nothing bothered me about it. So yeah, 7.5.
You know what? Was gonna go with a 7, but then I remembered the lady at the beginning who had one of the worst dubs of the whole movie.
She did.
I loved her eclectic jewelry look. She had like 2 different like rhinestone earrings. She had the necklaces, the one with the eye. I loved that. So at the last second, I decided to pop it up another half point. Glenn.
Did we all agree on one?
Yeah, this is the second one now that I've changed. What was it, acting to 7?
Boom.
That means something, apparently.
That means
I don't know what.
777s.
Anyway,
Jackpot.
music, Mr. Akers.
Yes. Again, this is going to get a high score. It's very, very Goblin-esque. Goblin being Argento's usual band accompaniment for his movies. I looked it up because I kind of thought it might have been one of them, like Claudio Cementi or something. It wasn't. It's actually one of my other favorite Italian horror, or not Italian horror, just Italian composers of the time, Fabio Fabrizi, Freezy, I'm sure I'm saying incorrectly, which is unfortunate because like he is actually a really great 70s funk composer, like actually has been sampled many times much later. It probably should get lower because it's so fucking close to Dawn of the Dead sound, like that I'm not sure they didn't plagiarize some of it.
Ooh.
But there is also Twinges of Deep Red, which is a nice seasoning to almost plagiarism. I just really liked it because, like, again, it hits like everything I love. Just 70s Italian funk synth weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So 8.5 for me.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the genre as well. I would have given it higher than the 8 that I've given it because I gave it an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Just because sometimes it sounded out of place for the movie it was in.
It did. The end was not good.
Yeah, but like the music was good. It was just in the wrong movie. So I didn't see ya, Em. Talk to you soon. So I gave it an 8. I really liked the score. I just think it was in the wrong movie.
You gave it oh crap. TJ,
That's
what was
fair.
your wardrobe score? That was 7.5 because we all got it together, right?
Yeah.
And what was your production design score?
7.
7. Okay, sorry. Here we go. Okay, music. For me, I enjoyed it. Felt right. Helped set the tone of the scenes. Except the addition of the drums as they walked into the funeral parlor at the end. It like started off pretty cool, and then they had this really weird drum line that they added, and that super threw me off. I gave it a 7.5.
have to watch that again.
I was like, I was starting to think about. I was like, oh, let's make some music notes, and I was like, yeah, it's working well. Oh, up until now, like I didn't like it at all.
Would you give it D
7.5.
on the sound? This is sound design.
No, this is music.
Music.
Oh, okay.
Sound design. Glenn, take us away.
Again, I give it a pretty high. I think they did I think this is intentional that they did a normal sound design for the rest of the movie, but when it was like effects time or set piece time, they really ratcheted it up, and I think they did a pretty good job. Like the vomiting sounds during the vomiting scene, the like wriggling sounds of maggots during the maggot scene, the sound design of like when you need it to like really amp up, I thought they did a really good job of basically making it over the top, which is what the gore is, which is why you basically watch this movie. Another 8.5.
Big one for Glenn. TJ.
Yeah. So, listen. Here's the thing. As much as I want to believe our dude,
What I just said,
made a conscious choice to treat this this movie in such a way as to say, if we all can't enjoy it, no one will enjoy it. I couldn't in good conscience give it, even with all of its amazing subtle effects, I gave it a 4.
Ooh.
Because there's none of the dubbing is, the whole movie is dubbed.
Yeah.
I couldn't give it past a 5. And then I took another point away for the jungle sounds at the end.
Why were there monkey sounds?
I did not that felt like they were like, we need to put something in here that sounds weird. Let's just use like National Geographic B tracks.
Yeah.
And so I gave it a 4. Again, like that's harsh because most of it is the dubbing issues, because that's the genre, but I'm not gonna it's still terrible. Like I get that it's the genre and I love the genre, but it's gonna come up low for me every time.
Yeah.
I mean,
does it forgive it because it's a genre? I don't. Yeah.
I mean, that balances out because like I gave it like at least 2 points higher than it really should have.
I have to agree with TJ. The dubbing it's super threw me off. It was so bothersome. But I'll give it I gave it a 6. I'm like middle of the road, just below average. Yeah. Camera and lighting. Glenn.
This has all of the hallmarks. I don't think it skips any of them. Of Italian horror movies, of 70s movies in general. Like fucking everything from like ridiculous smash zooms from like wides to like eyes to like extreme close-ups, just like with shallow depth of focus. I think one of Fulci's strongest suits is his compositions, just in general. Like his wide shots or like establishing shots of just like of the city, like I think are just actually just really pretty in general, like from like a photography standpoint. It has some pretty great dolly moves, even though it's like very like early horror movies, like the underlit like ghosts, specifically like when the evil priest is outside of the car when they're making out before she vomits up her shit. It's just underlit like it's like a 30s Universal horror movie, but it works for me. It's very Italian, where like the 70s, where it's like colors and the saturation are turned up to like 12. But I think the reason I'm giving it such a high score, which I'll tell you what it is in a second. Is again, like, I'm gonna go back to this thing. Like, it does like this really good job of conveying the atmosphere of what I think they were trying to do. Like, yes, this is a zombie movie, but this is also technically a Lovecraft movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Really?
it takes place in Dunwich. It's like the zombies appear and reappear. Like, zombies don't fucking do that.
No.
Normal zombies.
It's got all the telltale
Uh,
signs of a Lovecraft story.
Right. Like, it's this weird, like, uber supernatural thing
Mm-hmm.
that Lovecraft is.
Even down to the protagonists and shit, like the dynamic, like the archetype build of the characters, like a psychic character, like an out of town detective guy, like it was all there. Like it was it's whether they knew it or not, they made a Lovecraft movie.
Cool.
They knew it. They did. I mean, they wouldn't have called it Dunwich.
Yeah.
There's no way. And I have a feeling that Epitaph is probably a line from a Lovecraft something.
Probably, yeah.
I thought it did a really good job of just like conveying the atmosphere, and I don't think it could have. I don't think the movie would have been successful if it wasn't for the camera and lighting, i.e., the visuals,
Yeah.
which is
sure.
like the reason I assume a lot of people, but especially me, watch Italian horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, again, they're basically they're silent movies that have been dubbed in a ridiculous way, in my opinion. That's how I
Yeah.
see most of them. Like, even my favorite ones, like Suspiria. Like, you could watch Suspiria and probably get what the fuck's going on without listening to it said. Because, like, oh, it's witches and they're in a school. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Right.
And this one is like, oh, a priest hung himself and zombies are coming out because the gates are open. Like,
Yep.
I get it. So I gave it an 8.5. I think it probably is actually the strongest thing out of the entire thing of this movie, even though this is the same score as a lot of things.
Right.
I couldn't quite give it a 9.
Okay.
Yeah, Glenn, we got real close. I gave it an 8. I agree. This thing screams Italian horror, with every frame of its being.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it has enough problems that,
Yeah,
like, because
it
again,
does.
if you look at it from an artistic point of view, it's a 10. But you got to take away some of the technical points on it. So yeah, 8,
Yeah.
strong 8. It's definitely the star of the movie.
Yeah.
For me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I gave it an 8 as well. I points for obviously attempting some very unique shots, like at the very beginning when they're like superimposing or fading into the what the eye, the pupil cornea.
Oh, yeah.
What fucking part? I can't remember. But then there's things like odd, slow push in to the
Yeah.
bar sign that was not like a couple of those slow pushes in were not incredibly smooth either. So it was like just a couple of them. The whole drop the lights and zoom in was very Italian horror, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it is.
Very interesting eyeball shots. A lot of eyeball shots. Very up close
lot
and
of it-
personal.
A lot of Italian horror movies love
Love the peepers.
eyeballs.
The slow weapon victim, weapon victim, weapon victim.
Oh man.
That's great. That was great. Maybe it went on a little too long, but when when Bob's death scene comes up and it's like, drill Bob, drill Bob, drill Bob, that was great. One of the reasons I think I gave a lower effects score too was the part where you can see they're going into like wax and they're coming out of wax. Like, it is very obviously a different. It's very obviously not somebody's actual skull.
See, I don't. Sorry, I'll retort after you're done.
I think and that also that shot of of death weapon victim, that also felt very much for its time. I don't know if that's necessarily Italian cinema, but that definitely felt very like late 70s, early 80s horror, where you're like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so 8 for me. Go ahead, retort. Mr. Akers?
I would much rather see something that's like very much something real going into something real, i.e. a real dribbit going into wax or latex.
Than someone's actual skull? Me too,
Well,
Glenn.
obviously that.
Justice
then
for Bob!
then just like clearly like a green screen element, or just like not good CGI and just like
Sure.
a canned CGI splatter. Like there's just something tactile about just watching practical effects, whether they're as good as they could be or not.
Sure.
I mean, that's probably just the way I grew up, because like those were the movies that were around when I was.
Listen, I wasn't knocking it too hard, buddy.
No, I know.
I wonder, I don't remember who the director is. Mo might actually know, because I want to say we've watched a bunch of these on YouTube. But I think, to speak to what you're saying there, there's a animator who does these really graphic claymation shorts.
Oh, Lee Hardcastle.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
Lee Hardcastle is an exemplary demonstration of
He did
that.
Tea for Toilet.
Yeah, that like
ABC, original ABCs.
Yeah, that you don't need realism to make gore effective.
Sure.
No.
And I think that lends itself to your argument there, but it obviously it's very fake. All the papier-mâché heads were all very bad. But
I mean, the thing for me was not that I knew it wasn't real, because I obviously know the whole thing's not real, is that when you go into wax, it's a very different texture, and it takes me too far out of it. But
this is for we're talking about camera though still?
No,
what are we talking about here?
I mentioned that one of the reasons that my effects score was probably not higher was also because of that scene. I went back to effects there real quickly, and I had forgotten to mention that it was very waxy for me, so it took me out a little, because it's a much different when you're drilling into a crayon and you've got that like little circular kind of, it's a different texture than, say, if you were drilling into, I don't know, a potato or a piece of bread or something. So that
no one's arguing there.
No, Glenn is arguing. That's why I'm saying.
Well, Glenn's just you're both giving your opinions. So
exactly. You're saying. I mean, I was retorting to him. Everything's gonna be fine, TJ. We're all still friends.
Okay, well then, I yield the rest of my time. The senator can speak freely.
I'm done.
What's next on the list?
Editing, Glenn.
I initially wanted to give this a lower score because very early on, I know this is my fucking go-to line. Very early on in the seance scene, or after the seance scene, they do a fire effect, which I give them credit for. They clearly shot fire in a house.
I forgot about that. Yeah. I should have maybe I need to change my score. I'm kidding. Or not.
So like there's like this clear fireball that goes up and then it goes down, and like they did like not a good edit to make it do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this knocks it lower than what it should be. And then not far after that, they do the fucking scene where she's in the coffin and Crazy Pants thinks a good idea is to put a pickaxe into the coffin to save her life where her fucking head would be.
Mm-hmm.
And like, watch that again. That's like almost Tarantino level of building tension and quick cuts to like near death.
Mm-hmm. And
you're just like, holy shit, that's truly great editing.
Yeah.
So I gave it a full point higher than it should be. I gave it an 8. Mainly for that pickaxe.
You know what? Now that you bring it up, it's
because I watched all of us when we were watching it, and we were all kind of like,
"Oh yeah,
are you gonna hit her face?
Yeah.
What are you doing, you crazy fuck?"
Yeah. What is your problem?
Bad news.
Aim for her feet.
Seriously.
It's a fucking coffin.
I would give it an 8. I would say 8 because I think I thought it was hilarious the constant will they won't they cutting back and forth and long, like it could have been done just to fill time in the movie, to be honest, but
The
like
drill.
yeah, that like there was a couple moments like there's that, and then like when the dude keeps walking away from the casket
Yeah.
before he almost kills them, I'm like
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah, 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 yeah.
it's hilarious, and I
How
don't
many
know if that's
times
what they
they
were
do that?
going for as a storytelling mechanism, but that's what I'm gonna believe, that it was all intentional.
Agreed.
That's what
I,
I want to believe because I like it.
yeah, I do too. I'm gonna give it an 8 as well.
Like the drilling scene truly goes on for like
Oh, it's so funny.
Like maybe 4 times
half
too
as
long.
long as it. Yeah, exactly. Like
But yeah, but you're absolutely right, Glenn, about the Tarantino-esque nature of that casket scene. It is, well, especially knowing what, like what Italian horror typically delivers. Like I wouldn't have been surprised if the third axe found its way right in her fucking forehead.
yeah,
You know what I
Although
mean? Like, so that was good. It was good for me.
yeah.
although let's say the Fulci-esque nature, and that's where Tarantino learned it from. Let's give
That's
That's
credit
probably true.
where
Actually,
credit
Probably,
is due.
I could see that. I could see that.
that's probably true.
Yeah, real talk.
No,
Let's credit those who came before us.
That's right. Denise, what did you think of the editing?
I agree with both of you, and I will also give it an 8.
Whoa,
Boom, boom, boom,
hat
boom,
trick.
boom. That's another
that's
score.
2 categories in one movie.
3.
I think it's 3.
Oh.
Acting. I bumped my acting score to make it 777s.
Oh, right.
Yeah. We're climbing together. What's next, D?
Next is,
That's it.
oh my gosh, we're at enjoyability.
Oh my God. Thank God, because there's cold pizza waiting for me. We got to wrap this up.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
All right. I'll be quick. Like
I kid.
I've made it pretty clear. I like this movie quite a bit. It's not my like top 5 Italian horror movies, but it's pretty damn close. And every time I watch it, I like it more.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a light or fun horror movie. It's definitely very very somber and downtrodden. But there's a fair amount of enjoyability because like you can tell the people who made it had a lot of fun. Like they made this movie basically to make fucking gore scenes. Like let's be real.
Yeah. Respect.
Like most of all of Fulci's filmography. I think they did actually a really good job of creating this like somber dream nightmare. Is this really happening?
Mm-hmm.
Like weird atmosphere, even more so than normal like Italian horror movies. This is going to be a weird thing to say, but like Dawn of the Dead is truly one of my favorite horror movies ever. Like top 3. It varies on what day you talk to me. It might be number 1, it might be number 3, whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of the same like feeling when I watch this. I think it is because it is kind of a rip off of it. Because it was made to be a cash in on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very somber. Like it has a very anti-establishment meaning behind it if you want to find it or think you're finding something that probably isn't there. Not that Dawn of the Dead didn't. Like Dawn of the Dead definitely had a meaning behind it and like social commentary.
Yeah.
I think this one does too. Romero super always did.
Yeah.
I think this one did too. I'm not sure it really gets the credit it does, or maybe I'm just reading too much into it. And then I'm sure a lot of that has to do with its score that is very Dawn of the Dead. Again, like I said, I think they fucking ripped it off. But I love the cinematography. It's very pretty. It's a very pretty movie, cinematography wise. The script's shit. The acting isn't great. The dubbing's worse. Again, it's an Italian horror movie. You don't watch it for that. You watch it for the visuals, the weird left turns that they do, the gore. So to surmise, I gave it a very high 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I came close, Glenn. I'm a fan of the genre. I'm a fan of the man, and I think I gave it an 8 for enjoyability because would I watch it again? Yes. Will I watch it again? Yes, but probably not as eager to do so than I would say a Demons.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, for sure. Demons is way more fun.
yeah, solid 8 on the scale for me. D,
Yeah.
how about you? How much did you enjoy this movie?
I think I'll go 8 as well. I think that this one I would watch it again for sure. This might be one of those like once a year things that maybe you pull out around Halloween. I
For
think
sure.
that you have to be in the right mood to watch it, or at least I have to be in the right mood to watch it. You have to be in a very particular mood.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Because of the seriousness and the severity of the situation. Like it is a very somber horror movie. Look at what you've done, Glenn.
Skosh.
I didn't do anything.
So I think that you just were. I think that an 8 for me. I would definitely say you have to at least watch it once. And I think it's an excellent study in it's not just Italian horror, but probably Italian film as well.
For sure.
And Italian horror is crucial to the horror movement. So
it is. It gave us slashers. Don't at me.
Don't at me.
Glenn don't want no smoke.
And respect those who came before you.
It's true. Hashtag Baba.
Yep.
Well, actually, technically, no. Glenn was an 8.5. I was an 8, and TJ was an 8. So.
Yeah.
But
close.
do what you will, ladies.
Close. Very close.
And gentlemen, and everybody who is here with us.
D, you'll have to tell me what my score is. I don't know what my total is.
Oh, I don't know what your total is. You got. Oh wow, yours is the lowest.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I had a 4.
62.
That is actually surprising.
62.
Ouch.
For TJ.
Yeah.
My total score was 71.5. And
Glenn?
Mine was a round 80.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Again, I think it's a fun movie. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't let my 62 dissuade you from watching it. It's great.
Yeah.
It is. Like, it is weirdly somber and, like, kind of downtrodden it is. I find it weirdly pretty enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
It's not... I'm trying to think of a really... I can't watch this. It's too dark movie.
The Mist.
Yeah, exactly. It's not The Mist.
The Mist is one of my favorite movies, and I can never watch it.
Agreed. It's made much better than this movie. But I can't watch it either. Like,
yeah.
Ooh,
it's so dark. It's so fucking dark.
The Orphanage.
Oh, I love The Orphanage.
Oh my! But I mean, The Orphanage.
I don't remember The Orphanage at all.
We might have to watch.
We talk about it all the time.
We have to.
Like,
we have to.
I don't remember that movie at all.
Okay, close your earmuffs. It
I've
absolutely, but you don't remember it. I mean, nothing I'm saying will say anything. It ripped me in half, literally ripped my heart apart.
Yes.
And I am not kidding. Emotionally, it took me a very long time to recover from it, and I actually don't know if I still have. Okay. Yeah. Nope. Haven't. Thanks, Guillermo.
He only produced it.
Who wrote and directed it? Because wasn't it like
remember his
billed
name
as a Guillermo thing?
It was. I think it came off of the heels of Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh,
but he definitely produced it.
Okay, is Pan's Labyrinth like a horror fantasy thing, or what is it? What is it?
Dark. I would classify it as dark fantasy.
Dark
Okay,
fantasy.
so we
for
can't
sure.
watch it here.
No,
I want to.
Would not qualify.
It's so good.
That'll be on our other
we have a
show.
fantasy
N
podcast?
Popcorn. It's just N Popcorn.
N Popcorn.
Right.
N Popcorn.
It puts two toes into horror.
It does.
In the horror
I think
pool.
it does a little bit.
It does.
Director.
Well, Toy Story 3 is dark, man. Toy Story 3 is mad dark.
director
No
was
shit.
J.A. Bayona, and the
Yeah.
writer was Sergio G. Sanchez. Let's see,
But-
J.A. Bayona.
Del Toro did produce it, and like it was at the time marketed as like Del Toro presents, but that was because like they were trying to make American audiences like
Go watch it.
He directed
Yeah.
A Monster Calls, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, The Lord of the
Oh,
Rings
right.
TV series.
I forgot they gave him like the Jurassic Park series.
Huh.
And,
And then a lot of Spanish stuff.
Mm.
mind blowing. You do the orphanage, which is great, and then they're just like,
Here's Jurassic Park.
here's
Have a
Jurassic Park.
World.
Here's $180 million.
Have
Life
fun, will ya?
finds a way to end the show.
You're right.
Well, here we are. These are our scores. They were we had a 60, a 70, and an 80. So it looks like our tastes are really starting to diverge in some ways, and that's always interesting to see. TJ's got cold pizza waiting for him, and the best thing though is this pizza is good, cold, hot, or lukewarm.
Yep.
Thank you so much for
Family
joining
recipe.
us for Blood.
Well, I do have
Popcorn.
some
Yes, thank
quick
you.
announcements before we go, D.
Oh,
Yes, well, let me finish here. I was
Okay,
going to
well,
get
just-
there.
Yeah, but there are announcements I'm
I
not sure that you know
know.
about.
No, I know. I was going to pass it off to you, but I guess
Okay,
I'll
great.
just stop right here.
Well, if you're going to wrap the show, let me go first so I can get these couple announcements out.
No, I
and
was just
then
going to
we'll
say
wrap
thank
the
you
show.
for joining us. And TJ, are there announcements for, like,
Oh, yes. You want to let me go first, and then you do the thanks for watching so that you don't give people like a false ending.
no, but
know,
I also want to,
Thanks
what if
for
I want to
watching.
thank
Thanks
them?
for being here.
No, but what if
By
I want to
the
thank them
way,
twice? What if I want to say thanks for being here and then I want to
Audience,
tell them?
I know we just rolled credits, but if you could sit back down in your
These
seats.
are not the credits because
do
we haven't said
have
where
some
can you find
announcements
us
to make.
or anything like that.
So anyway, here are the announcements, folks. I'm hanging out with the fam the next couple of weeks. So we're gonna have some limited programming over the next couple of weeks. This show is cursed will not be live tomorrow or next week. Blood and Popcorn will not be live next week. Will be live next week if Denise chooses to go up. Will be Dead by Daylight and Monster of the Week Through the Void for its season finale on Thursday night. That's Thursday night. But unless Denise goes up on bonus round, you won't be seeing me around. But I hope she does. It'd be nice to see her in the pink and blue. But Denise,
Yes,
I'm
Mr.
done with
Rotell.
my announcements. Do you have anything to add?
Mr. Rotell, where can the internets find you?
Oh, the internets can find me at TJ Rotell, wherever popular internets are sold.
Wonderful. Mr. Akers, where can they look at beautiful pictures of your food?
Oh, food. That will be on Instagram at Glenn with 2 N's _ Akers, AKRS, and then _ again, because there's more than one of me apparently.
And he's also on Twitter. You'll see it in chat, Odd Movie Master.
Yep.
You can find me on Twitch at Denise Pantoja. I'll be up with Resident Devil tomorrow night. Could be a little bit later. My vaccinated mother drove in with my vaccinated sister, and we're vaccinated, so might be a longer day tomorrow, and that'll be very exciting. But I will be up. It could be a little later in the evening. Just keep an eye on the socials, and I will be
The real
definitely
Vax
be DB.
East party over there.
That's right, buddy. Dead by Daylight, Dead by Daylight. Playing Dead by Daylight on Dead by Daylight on Wednesday. And I might pop up this week. I don't know. I don't have somebody taking up all my time here because somebody's visiting somebody else. You know what I mean? Somebody will go up on my...
Oh, I see. Don't
I'm
forget
kidding.
to tune in 2 weeks for Dead by Daylight.
I mean, you're so distracting.
And Blood and
can't
Popcorn
help
with Glenn and
myself.
TJ.
Damn it. This is ridiculous.
That's what happens. You get your ass recast and fuck around and find out.
Oh, shit. Wow. That's for real. Okay. So we're not going to be up next week for Blood and Popcorn or the week after, you said?
No, just this coming.
Just this
next a week from today, we will not be live, but we will
Okay.
be back after that.
So, but it is my turn, right, to pick? next, or
would be your turn. Yeah.
did I? Okay, so
Ooh,
I have
Halloween
some
2?
time. No, I'm not that predictable. So I have a little bit of time. I'll pick something next week, so we have plenty of time to watch it. I have to listen. You like. If you see me at a what's that Cheesecake Factory with all the 8,000 pages of menus, I can't choose. It's hard to choose.
I was going to say, are we expecting to find you at a Cheesecake Factory?
I was going to say.
I'm saying it's got a big menu.
I didn't think they survived the pandemic.
It's just saying it's got a big menu, and there's like so many horror movies, so it's really difficult for me to choose, and there are different reasons. Anyway, I digress. Thank you so much.
I've never been to one.
Really?
Nope.
They
They're
have
fine.
2,000 calorie slices of cheesecake.
It's
Anyway,
fine.
Cheesecake is
it's
great.
fine. I will pick the movie for next time, which is not next week, but the week after. Thank you so much for joining us for the wild ride that is Italian horror. Glenn's
be more.
favorite. There will be more. So make sure that you keep an eye out. TJ, did you want me to do any little cards here? No, you want to go eat your pizza. So thank you.
Well, yeah.
so
Do you want to
much.
raid somebody? Do you want to go
Do
raid
we-
David Blue? I think he's up.
Do we have a blue? We
I
have
think
a
there's
blue?
a blue on the field. Still.
I can't tell here.
Yeah, there's a David Blue still up on the field for
Okay.
David Blue.
Oh, we're
Okay.
going to blue ourselves. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's a Arrested Development joke.
Yep.
we'll see y'all later. Come by and see me tomorrow night on Denise's Twitch channel, and have a great weekend if I don't see you. Thanks a
Good
lot.
night.